Okay, in this video, I'm going to discuss more applications on or of the properties of circles. In number 5, we want to find the value of the angle C, the measure of angle C, and the measure of angle B. So what we know is that the angle A is 112, so this is 112, and the angle D is equal to 75 degrees. Okay, so the property of a circle that we can apply here is that always remember, whenever we have a circle, and inside the circle is a quadrilateral, so any four-sided figure, the angle, if we name this angle A, and we name the angle opposite to it as B, the idea is that A plus B is always equal to 180. In other words, the sum is always 180. So, if we know, for example, that angle D is 75, then the angle B has a measure that when you add to 75, it becomes 180. To find that, we can just simply subtract 75 from 180, and that will give us 105 degrees. So the measure of angle B must be 105 degrees. Okay. Angle C is the angle opposite of angle A, but the angle A has a measure of 112 degrees. So if we want to find the angle measure that will give us the sum of 180 with the 112, then what we can do is just subtract 112 from 180, and that is simply 8, and this is 6, so the measure must be 68 degrees. So that's how we answer problem like number 5. Next, we go to number 6. In number 6, so these are the things that we know. The line segments AP, so the line segment AP, this is AP, and BP are tangents to the circle whose center is at O. So this is the center O, and that BP, the BP, and the AP are tangent to the circle. Now keep in mind that whenever a line is tangent to the circle, if you will draw the radius to the point of tangency, the measure of the angle is always 180. Always 90 rather, so it's always 90 degrees. Okay, in the same way that angle OAP is also 90 because the line or the line segment AP is tangent to the circle. So that is always, so always 90 degrees given the condition that the line segment is tangent to the circle. And then we have another information here that the angle OPB is equal to 27 degrees. So OPB, so that's O going to P going to B, so this angle has a measure of 27 degrees. So if we want to find the measure of angle OBP, so angle OBP is OBP. From the idea a while ago, we know that this must be 90 degrees. Now POB, so POB, if you want to find this measure, now take note that we know that angle OBP is 90, angle OPB is 27, and since the sum of the angles of a triangle is 180, we can find the angle POB by subtracting the sum of 27 and 90 from 180. So if 27 plus 90 is equal to 117, if we subtract 117 from 180, so that is 117 minus, or 180 minus 117, so this is 3, and this is 7 minus 1 is 6. The measure of angle POB should be 63 degrees. Now to find angle AOB, so that's AOB, so this angle. So OAB is actually twice the measure of BOP, because the two angles are the same. Okay, so how sure are we that they are the same? The two triangles are congruent. Okay, this side is equal to itself, so this side is equal to itself, the radius equal, and then we have some angles that are the same. So if we have to check whether we have SAS, SSS, or ASA, we can check that. We have a side, we have another side here. Actually, we can even use the HL theorem for right triangles. So this is a leg, the hypotenuse are the same, and there's a 90 degree, so by HL they are congruent. So that means the angle BOP, so let's clear this out. So the angle BOP, so BOP must be equal to the angle POA. So if you want to measure the angle AOB, we just double the measure of BOP or POB, which we got as 63 a while ago. So double that, we have 63 times 2, and that is 126 degrees. Okay, so that's how we get the measure of angle AOB. Now, just to take note, this is 90 degrees, that's OBP from the idea a while ago. We go to number 7. So in the given circle with center at O, so this is the center O, and AM, so AM here, so this is AM, and then PN, so PN are tangents at A and B. So we learned from the previous example that once a segment is tangent to the circle, if we will draw a line from the point of tangent C to the center, the angle formed is always 90 degrees. So even if it didn't say, these are the things that we know. Okay, so these are the implications of having a line segment tangent to a circle. Now, so as we continue, what we know is that BPM is 102. So if we locate BPM, that's B. So from B, P, and M, so we have 102. Now the question is, you want to find the angle, the measure of the angle APB. So APB is APB. So we want to find the measure of this angle. Now, take note that in any straight line, if you will measure the angle, it's always 180 degrees. Now from here, so the 180 is actually divided into 2. So if you look at this figure, so the 180 is divided into 2. The right angle here, the angle on the right is 102 degrees. So if you want to measure the angle here, which is APB, all we have to do is to subtract 102 from 180, and that is simply 78. So the measure of angle APB is 78 degrees. To find the angle AOB, so that's AOB. Okay. So this can be a bit tricky, but what I want you to focus on is, or focus your attention is on the figure here. So I want you to focus on the figure here. It's a four-sided figure. One thing that we know about four-sided figure is that the sum of the angles is 360. It's like for triangles, the sum of the angles is always 180. For four-sided figures, the sum of the angles is always 360. Now, if our goal is to find the measure of angle AOB, and we know that this is 90, the other angle is also 90, and we just found the measure of angle APB, which is 78, that means the remaining angle should be or can be obtained by subtracting 90, the 90, and the 78 from 360. So if we add all the three angles, 90, 90, and 78, and subtract it from 360, then we will get the remaining angle, which is angle AOB. So 90 plus 90 is equal to 180. So this is 180. If we add 78, that will be 8. And this is 15 and 1. That's 258. So to get the measure of the remaining angle, we subtract 258 from 360. So we can have 360 minus 258. That is 2. This is 0. And this is 1. So the measure is 102 degrees. Now there are other ways to find the measure of the remaining angle, but for now, so I'll be using the concept of the sum of the angles of a four-sided figure. Okay, so the answer for angle AOB, the measure is equal to 102 degrees. Okay, so finally we go to the last question. So in number 8, the figure shows BD as a diameter. So diameter is the line segment passing through the center of the circle. So if the angle DBC is 17, so if we know that DBC is 17, so DBC, that is 17, and then the angle ABD is 39, so ABD, so AB, so this is ABD, that is 39, the other one is 17. We want to find the measure of the angle BDC. So BDC is the angle, so from B, you go to D, you go to C, so you have to find this measure, or the measure of this angle. The other one that we want to find is the measure of the angle ADB. Okay, so based from the information that we have, so the sum of the measures of these two angles should be the measure when you subtract 39 and 17 from 180. Remember, for any four-sided figure inside the circle, the opposite angles are always supplementary, meaning the sum of the two angles should be 180. Now, if this is 39 and 17, that's a total of 56. So if I have to find the measure of ADC, the whole angle ADC, then all I need to do is to subtract 56 from 180. So we have 180 minus 56, that would be a 4, and then this becomes 7, and this is 2, so we have 124 just for the sum, or the measure of the angle ADC, so that's 124. But that is not the one that we want to find. What we want to find is the measure of angle BDC. Now, since this is a diameter, this is 90 degrees. That's a property of a circle. If you have a diameter, the measure of this is always 90. Now, since this is 17 and this is 90, the angle here can be obtained by subtracting the 90 and 17 from 180. Okay, so if you do that, you will find the measure of angle BDC. So we have 90 plus 17 is equal to 107. So you subtract this from 180, you get the measure of angle BDC. And that is simply 73. Okay. Now on the other side, so this is still the diameter, so this must be 90 from the concept of, or from the properties of circles, that if the endpoints of the sides of the angle will end at the diameter, the endpoints of the diameter, then the measure of the angle is always 90. So having this as 90, and we want to find the measure of angle ADB, that's AD, and going to B. So all we need to do is to do the same solution from A. So we subtract 39 and 90. So we have 90 plus 39, that's a total of 129, subtracted from 180. So 180 minus 129, you will get 1, and this is 5, so you get 51 degrees. That's it. Okay.